Welcome to Unreal Engine Basics. This tutorial is taking a look at structures and how we use them in Unreal Engine. So, what is a structure in Unreal Engine? A structure in Unreal Engine is used as a variable type that is used to organize and store related data. The structure is also used to create data tables in Unreal Engine, but this will be discussed in a future tutorial. Let's take a look at two examples. The first example shows data which could be used with a gun blueprint. The second showing data which might be stored for a monster blueprint. Please note these are not comprehensive but give a general guide to the type of data stored in a structure for each example. We will be creating the monster structure, so take a moment to look at the variables we will be using. Now we can take a look at creating structures in Unreal Engine. First, take a look at how the monster stats variables might look in a normal actor blueprint, without the help of structures. You will see that already the blueprint variable list is getting long and unwieldy, and will only get more cluttered as we add more variables to the list. Now we will create the monster structure to alleviate the problem above, but still give us easy access to all the variables we need. Right click in the content browser and we can find the structure option in Blueprints. Click on Structure to create. We can now rename the structure to something more meaningful. In our example, we will call it struct monster stats. The struct prefix lets us know it's a structure. Double click on the structure to open it and now create the variables that were in the original blueprint by clicking Add Variable and adding each variable in turn. Once this is complete, compile and save, then close the window. Open the monster blueprint and delete all the individual variables, as we will be using the structure to store our data from now on. Now that's done, we can create a new variable which will store the structure. Create a variable and call it struct stats, but this time the type will be our structure. So type in struct monster stats and select our structure. Once that's done, click the eye to the right of the variable name to make it visible in the editor. Dragging the blueprint into our scene now gives us access to all the variables in the structure and can be set in the editor. In our example, however, we will also access and set the variables through our code. I have given our actor some default values to demonstrate use in the blueprint. First, we take a look at how to access our structure and the two different options that are at our disposal for this. Drag the variable into the blueprint and get. We can simply right click on the node and split struct pin. This gives us access to the individual variables in our struct. The second option is to drag off the output pin and then select break struct monster stats. This also gives us access to our structure variables, but we are able to show and hide these by using the options in the top right hand corner of the editor. This can keep our blueprints cleaner and use less space. Moving on, we need to know how to set the struct and its variables. Here are two ways of setting the struct with new values. Firstly, drag in our struct and select set and join up the execution pin. Next, drag from the input and type make. We should have the option to make new struct. Expand this out to see all our variables. Drag in our variable again and get. We can now split struct pin. In the example, we will connect all the pins to their corresponding pins except current health. This value we will change by subtracting 5. For an easier method, we can use set members in struct. Drag in our struct variable, drag from the output node and type set members. Then select the option relating to our struct. Now we use the options on the top right hand corner of the editor, expand the default option and tick the current HP. Now place this before the set variable and reconnect the execution pins. Also connecting the output struct from the set members node. Now pull off the struct variable again and this time break the struct. We can then drag off the current health and subtract 5. Now connect the output from the subtraction and plug it into our current health of the set members node. Let's take a look at the results in game. Selecting our monster blueprint, we can take a look at the struct settings. I have set the mesh to a skeletal mesh and set the current health to 90. When pressing play and looking again at the structure, we can see that our health has been updated and shows 85. The skeletal mesh has also been applied. Structures are a very useful way of keeping related data together, and we will look at further ways to extend its uses in future tutorials.